So I'm really excited to announce the next few speakers. This is our keynote for the day. You're going to love this. With us, we have Janna Ronert. As you know, she's the founder of Image Skincare and the chairwoman of the board. She's an esthetician, mother, speaker, and mentor. She's active in many organizations such as C200, serving as a council leader for entrepreneurial success. She's featured in Forbes magazine, and she was the Entrepreneur of the Year from Ernst & Young's 2012 and a Florida Business Journal 2016 CEO of the Year. With her is Adam Ross from the company HEYDAY. He is the president and CEO, chairman of the board of HEYDAY. Prior to HEYDAY, he co-founded Saludos, which is a New York City-based footwear brand, and he sits on the board of that. He's also a partner of the investment firm Protea and sits on the board of Serena and Lily, and that is a lifestyle home brand. And then following this beautiful segment that we're going to have with Adam and Janna, we have Alex Saran, who is also with HEYDAY. She's the regional trainer and esthetician at HEYDAY. She is an esthetician in New York City for 9+ years. She's been with HEYDAY for 2015. She considers herself a holistic practitioner, and she is going to be showing you all a beautiful treatment with our Guasha tool. So you want to make sure that you are staying tuned for this entire segment. And you can actually follow along with her or do this later as well. We have some special treats involved with this segment as well. So welcome, Janna and Adam.
Hello. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Adam.
Good morning, both. How are you? Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to see you both. I'm really excited about this segment. So I want to just jump right in because I have so much I want to ask the two of you, and I know our listeners and our audience is excited as well. So let's start with the story of each of your companies. So Janna, would you like to start?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So, my story is really, I had a very, I guess, humble beginning, if you'll say. I grew up on a farm, and I really didn't set me up to be in the international beauty space. But I think what that upbringing did do for me was kind of confirm my desire to be a female entrepreneur, and of which I really learned from my father. He was a self-made man and a very successful entrepreneur. And I think my story really kind of resonates about what I learned early on is saying that, I know you've actually heard me say this, and I say it a lot, that the lazy are never lucky. I mean, hard work, perseverance, and kind of never giving up on a dream, for me, were the components to success. So I founded Image Skincare in 2003. I was living in a very small apartment in Houston, Texas, a few bucks in my pocket, a small loan from the bank. Side note, my dad would not loan me the money. He said, you need to do this on your own. And I kind of started this company, and how I started it was really quite simple, one customer at a time, one wrinkle at a time. And for me, kind of making the best products that day one, the customer, my friends, my family could see a difference. I didn't really start with any fancy marketing, just really great products. I think working as an esthetician, I knew kind of fact from fiction, fluff versus how you really can get a great result. And so I have a deep knowledge and appreciation for the skin, and a real connection to kind of like changing people's lives, because the beauty world has definitely changed my life. So I guess kind of fast forward today, I'm very proud, very humbled to say that we are the #1 professional skincare brand. We're surpassing all those other amazing companies in the space that I've worked with, I've worked for, and we do business in over 60 countries. And I'm very proud that we have an executive team that is female-led and kind of empowered to help the world age later. It's really been an amazing journey for me, a ton of ups and downs. Kind of going from 0 to #1 isn't easy. But our team, our customers like HEYDAY, like Adam, and our fans have really kind of been the secret sauce to our success. So I'm happy to be here today and kind of share with you and the world a little bit about kind of our philosophies.
I love that. And I mean, I'm biased because I work here, but it's an incredible journey. And I'm so grateful for the opportunities that you've given us. And we love Heyday. You're one of our favorite accounts. And I'm excited to hear your story, Adam.
Sure. I think a lot of similarities, funnily enough, to Janna's story. I was actually raised on a small family winery in a prominent wine region about 2 hours north of Sydney. And that was obviously an incredible experience in terms of growing up. There was the cliche koalas in the trees, kangaroos in the valley, and a really cool way to actually get immersed with, with wine. I think I was like 9 years old when I first started getting my little, wine at the table, and it was like red or white at the time, and I had to guess the varietal. And then when I could guess the varietal, they'd play with the years. So it was almost this really cool way to get introduced to something. I found my way to Sydney for university, and then jumped into mergers and acquisitions straight out of undergrad. And after a year and a half in Australia, they offered me the chance to go to New York. So found myself in New York in 2000. So I've been in the US in between New York and LA for around 20 years now. And for the first 10 years, I ended up sort of focusing more and more within consumer product and retail categories, and beauty more specifically. So my sort of first foray into this category was doing a lot of investment banking work for the likes of Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, P&G, Gillette, Revlon, Avon, all the big guys of the world. And I think what was really interesting to me, and it sort of spurred the light bulb for Heyday, was out of all the categories I looked at in my banking career, it seems that the skincare services category was incredibly fragmented. And it's one that historically, I think, has targeted more of a higher price point customer. And as a result, it's felt a bit more like a bit more pampering and indulgence and a little bit of a splurge, whether you do that on vacation or as a treat, unless you've got the time and money to engage regularly. So I think what really hit it off for me was the fact that, skincare is arguably the second greatest daily daily routine in people's lives behind food and beverage. And it wasn't easy for people to engage with professional skincare. So, Heyday was founded, and at the time there was, I think, some good examples in the market. SoulCycle has started to do a great job, freeing cycling from the gym. We've seen Drybar very successfully free the blowout from the salon. And what we wanted to do at Heyday, term we use a lot internally, is to free the facial from the spa. And I think what we found is, if you specialize in one service and you reposition it in an environment like Heyday, which is very unintimidating, gender neutral, and change the price point, change the operating hours, and change the price point in a way where we're not changing the efficacy or quality of the service, but we're making it far easier for busier people and generally a younger demographic, so those in their 30s or 40s, to engage with skincare and to break it down. And we view ourselves as having two core sets of clients. I think one is obviously our paying clients, and giving them access and democratizing skincare so they can have the best possible skin. But also we talk about our internal clients, and this one that is incredibly near and dear to my heart. But I think we found, like, estheticians across the country, it's a large category. It's somewhat known. I think it's quite an underappreciated employment class. So the ability at Heyday with training and growth, development, education and whatnot, we can actually give our estheticians the platform for them to do the best work. And when they do that, they pay it forward and give their customers a very personalized and elevated experience. So like Janna with Image, didn't do too much marketing in the early days. We've done very little as a brand, because we find if our clients have such a great experience, they're the ones that turn into the brand ambassadors and advocates of what we're doing. So, that's the history. We opened our first door in 2015. We've partnered with Image since day one, and, incredibly excited for what's to come together.
I love that.
I'll tell you a funny story. When you first opened in 2015 and New York was still hustling and bustling, I headed over to that location, your first location in New York, and the girls were asking me a lot of questions. How did you come up with the name Image? And I said, well, I said, well, my mom always told me the image was everything. So I asked the question to the girls. I said, so how did you guys come up with the name HEYDAY? And just one young girl said, hey, shouldn't every day be a great day? So
I love that.
I think that is the epitome of what you guys stand for. Every day should be a great day, and it should start with great skin. So your name is really resonates. That I remember that story for a long time.
Oh, that's great to hear.
It's funny because as you're speaking, I'm thinking about all of the things that image we gel very well together. The customizable part of it, that's something that we excel at Image. It's very important for us to give the power to the esthetician to be able to customize that regimen or that treatment to be specific to that actual client, so they're getting the full experience and in the price point. So you said that too, and I know Janna, when you started, it was really important for you to have something that's affordable without, being cheap, really, and being able to still source those ingredients and the best of the best, but making it so that everyone could have great skin. So I think it's really cool that we were able to find each other, and it's a beautiful relationship. And if you've never been to HEYDAY, I highly, highly encourage you to book a treatment because it is unlike anything you've seen before. And the estheticians there are very knowledgeable. When I say knowledgeable, I mean they know their stuff. So I definitely recommend everybody to do that. So let's talk about wellness, since it is a wellness summit and wellness is the topic and it's Wellness Month. What, Adam, would you say is your definition of wellness?
Yeah, I think I think about it actually within the self-care, definition. And, I think for all of us, we've got our self-care pie. And for me, I would say over time, it's been a theme towards, I think, focusing on fewer things done better. But I think all of us have neglected ourselves like in recent years, and we've all felt sort of stretched a mile wide and an inch deep. And for me, I think self-care lets me be the best version of myself. And I think certainly as a leader of a company, what you want to do, it's like, if I can't look after myself, I can't possibly do the right thing by my team, by my clients. So I'd say there's been a shift for me over time, maybe more as a young whippersnapper, where you wanted to do all things and it was like more. And there was a lot of like freedom too. And I think in recent years, I've switched more to a freedom from, and, just doing fewer things better and not rushing my way through it. So, for me within self-care, that's daily meditation, that's exercise, taking the time to reflect and importantly, just, rest up and sleep. I used to think I was one of those people that could power through on 5 hours sleep a night. But I also appreciate it can mean different things to different people, and there's different areas of importance depending on what chapter you are, throughout your life journey. So I think I've learned to be a little more fluid in terms of, how that ebbs and flows, personally for me, and, I've seen it in others.
Sure. And I think it's that simplicity, right? It's doing those few things and kind of taking it back a little bit and saying, okay, as you're younger, and I can agree, you're go, and you don't take care of yourself. You say you are, you drink water, but, taking it back a little bit and actually putting in the time. So I appreciate that a lot. What about you, Janna?
I mean, me, I always have to look up the definition of things. So I kind of looked up like what the definition of wellness was in the dictionary. And it said, it's like the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes. And I think for me, the bottom line to that definition is wellness for me is, instead of just surviving, it's kind of thriving, and I think also when you look at wellness from like a global aspect, it's kind of defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and kind of not merely the absence of disease. So kind of key areas in my life that I believe are important to overall wellness, and Adam touched on those, but I'll add maybe one more. I'm a girl, and guys should also exercise this, but I think social connectedness is super important, and especially today. Mm-hmm. And, the beauty of having these Zooms and FaceTime and the connectivity, I think is a very big part of being well. Exercise, of course, clean nutrition, great sleep, and just being very mindful. And I think Adam also said it that, you know, in my younger years, I wasn't really mindful of my surroundings so much. I was probably more egocentric and not maybe looking at, you know, myself as a whole of what I can do to contribute, just being very focused on that pathway with image. And I think that kind of has a big impact on your physical and your mental health. So I think just maybe wellness to me is really keeping it simple, you know, doing things on a daily basis, like just making good choices and reducing that stress and having those very positive social interactions, I think really is wellness. And you can just do a little bit at a time. I mean, you don't have to run a marathon, although I did that at age 50 some, my first one and my last one. I'm not doing it again. And I don't think you need to go on any big restrictive diet, but I think you need to, you know, be mindful. So this is my wellness day. I put together just a little list. I first drink a hot water, lemon, and ginger. Then I do a little bit of meditation, 1 or 2 minutes on a meditation headspace. I get the kids up, we eat breakfast, I work. Then I exercise, I pick up the kids, then I'm the taxi service, I'm Miss Uber. And then while their activities is my way to connect with friends, I like to just get on the phone and gab about anything, just to connect. Eat dinner, I try to read a little bit every night, something, and then lights out. So I never used to get as much sleep as I do now, but sleep is really the number one thing to make you look beautiful. It helps a lot, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think just one thing to add to that,
sure.
That was, I think, implicit in what you said, and I think important for all of us on the, you know, on the line here, but I think wellness also comes from being a lot more intentional about not just what you choose to do, but what you choose not to do. And I think, you know, I can give a personal example where obviously there's so much information online that can be there to provoke a very strong reaction, be it positive or negative. And there's no right or wrong with it. I think it's just where you're intentional about choices you choose to make. I think, again, personally, I've adopted more of a Marie Kondo methodology to my lifestyle where, you know, less is more, and I try and remove myself, and certainly in areas where there's things that you cannot control. I would say 15 years ago, I'd get more worked up, you know, around that, and you can get angry. And it doesn't mean you're not passionate, you can't care, but I think how you choose to channel what you engage with and what you don't, little things and little choices that you make, and they're highly personal to every person, they have a big impact and they can go a long way.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I think that learning to say no is so much important than saying yes.
It's powerful.
And it's very powerful. And it keeps your mind clearer, cleaner, less cluttered. And you tend to over deliver versus under deliver, I think. And that's what I've learned, because I was always a yes girl on everything. And it didn't serve me well, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And as a founder, an entrepreneur, you love saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
and to some extent that can do more harm than good over time.
Yeah, and I think words to live by, for sure.
And for those estheticians out there, just say no. You know, if you've got that appointment that they're begging you, but your kids have an event or something, just say no. You're going to be better served in the end by attending the things that matter versus pleasing 1 or 2 people. So I think prioritizing that is very important in your life.
I have to agree. I've really worked on that in the last few years. I think, you know, once you start to get into your 30s as well, like I'm 35, and in my 20s, I said yes to everything. I mean, I was overworked, and then you start to say, okay, can I do this the best that I can do this? If that's no, because I'm stretched too thin, then maybe I should say no, and they'll be okay. I think they can wait a day so that you can go and take care of you. So I think that's super important. So you kind of both already touched on this. My next question was going to be, what's your definition of self-care? So maybe if you want to give us that again, what that means to each of you, but maybe what would be like your recommendation for somebody that's never done self-care before, how they could start, or what's one thing that you started doing that was self-care? Janna, do you want to start?
Sure. I mean, self-care 101 to me isn't really about taking a little me time, like it's an indulgence. And I think people out there thinking self-care is this overindulgence, hashtag, I can do it all. And, you see the words like self-care, self-love, and wellness. I mean, I get it. But, I was looking on Instagram, we were kind of preparing for this little talk today, and there were 23 million posts on hashtag self-care, but
Wow.
38 million posts on hashtag self-love. So maybe, that whole self-care revolution can be more just about like loving yourself more,
Sure.
because I think there's a couple camps involved in this whole self-care revolution. And the first is the ones that think about it, but they put it at the bottom of their list because they think it's kind of indulgence. And then the second are those who do it, but then might feel guilty. I'm spending too much here. I'm doing too much of that. But I think the most important part of this whole self-care conversation is that it's really good for you, because anything that helps you manage your stress is going to help you live longer. I mean, getting a good night's sleep is the obvious, but that helps you feel good. It helps you focus better. It regulates your emotions, and it definitely boosts, your immunity. So I think that self-care should not be about how many massages you get, how much money you spend. It should be more kind of about self-love and how you treat your body and your mind and your soul. So I'm kind of a hashtag self-love girl. That's what
I love that.
I'd become more of that.
I love that. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, I actually agree a lot with what Janna said. I think to answer your question on tactically how I approached it, I think for me actually it was being more intentional about, I think, planning out 2 or 3 weeks in advance. And I think without getting too static, I like to give myself 14 or 30-day experiments. But it does come from a place of, we're all hard on ourselves. And I think you've got to release that pressure. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. If you just show up every day with the intent of being 1% better, you will do just fine. And, for me, it took me a while. And again, I think throughout different chapters, what I'll define as self-care and what my routine is will change. And I love the fluidity around that. But, for me, it's where you start off small. I think it's where you do little things. I think it's little things done consistently every day that over time build for a bigger impact. And I think that applies to self-care. It applies to work. I mean, even from Janna's opening comments, it's, grit and persistence. It's what you do, every single day. But I think when I schedule my self-care in advance, I put blocks and I make them non-negotiable. And the blocks themselves could change, but I think it forces my workday to start at a certain time. It forces my workday to end at a certain time. And if anything, that pressure actually forces me to be better about, sort of say, like, earning with my mind, not my time. Again, in my 20s, I'd proudly, put on my chest how many hours I worked a week. It's like, no, that's not good, and that's intellectually lazy. So for me, they've been tactics, and every 2 weeks, every month, I circle back on, what's working and what isn't working, and give myself permission to change and evolve. And that's I think all part of the self-care process that we're going to go through, and different things for different people.
Sure. And I like that you said, kind of looking at yourself, and it's okay to change those things, because you're going to change as you get older. Things that are more important to you that weren't when you were younger, et cetera. So I love that you said kind of letting that fluidity in your self-care journey.
And I think you said something important that would probably be helpful for the viewers is, sometimes you just have to schedule it, because you just can't wake up and expect a different result if you don't do something different. That's kind of insanity. So you got to schedule it. And the things that make you feel good, hopefully it's skincare. Most of the people on here, Could be your hair, it could be massage, it could be working out, it could be hanging out. But a lot of times if you don't schedule it at the end of the week, you're like, wow, that week went by so fast. I didn't do anything that I really wanted to do. So for me, I just have to schedule it and be diligent and firm that nothing's going to stand in the way of this. So I think that's also very helpful.
And the paradox of scheduling is it actually creates far more freedom and flexibility for you to do what you want to do.
Right. Right.
It gives you a tremendous amount of freedom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So there's no such thing as having a crystal ball, but if you had a crystal ball, can you tell me, Adam, what do you see for innovation in the future, whether it's Heyday or just our beauty industry in general? What do you see, what are you looking forward to in the future to come?
I don't have a crystal ball, firstly. I think where I'm really excited, and the nature of innovation is it's exciting. The rate of change of innovation is only going to continue. It's exhilarating, it's scary, it's befuddling, it's insightful, it's everything. I'm really excited for, I think, how product R&D is going to continue to evolve. And I think our ability to have products that are still incredibly thoughtful and personalized, so we can do the right thing by people's skin. I think at Heyday, for us, the challenge is the way we talk about channels as a company, I think, or as any company talks about retail or online, isn't how a customer talks about a business. They just want a brand that they can engage with anytime, anywhere, any place. So for us, the challenge is where we take the wonderful expertise of our estheticians in the treatment room and where you can create engagement out of the shop. So as they're doing their skincare routine twice a day, and having that sort of touch point, we're playing a role in their daily skincare routine. Whether that's texting estheticians, how we give videos and really create a personalized journey that is a lot more 360. I think that's the bar that our clients are going to continue to want us to lean into. And the issue within the shop is you've got to wow them not just the first time they walk in, but the 24th time they walk in. So I think we need to be more agile on our enhancements, on our modalities, and on our service innovation, not just meeting customers where they are today, but getting ahead of trends, or in fact leading trends, and that's being a lot more thoughtful around the research and what's happening out there, so we can work with our partners, and we can be first to market on something that we think, again, is really going to elevate the skin.
Sure. I love that. What about you, Janna?
I mean, I also don't have a crystal ball, and Lord knows that I've made a lot of mistakes about looking into the future, but my sense is from, skincare is I think the innovation will only continue to be more clean, more around sustainability. More doesn't mean more, but less doesn't mean more. And I think that choosing these clean, new, innovative ingredients that can deliver deeper into the skin is a very cool, process that we're leaning into as a company. I think that technology is a very cool thing. Just the fact that we're able to connect here, and how hard it would have been in the years past to get all these speakers flying in, get a hotel room, get everybody, being away from your family. I think this flexibility of technology around education and knowledge, meditation, I think even around health, we do a lot of telehealth interactions with our pediatrician, with our team. I mean, I just think the whole technology is very, very exciting and something that we all should lean into. I'm very enthusiastic about sun protection innovation and what we can do to really change lives or save lives, because that's what sunscreen does. It certainly protects us against the aesthetic, harmful things that go on with the environment, but it really saves lives, around skin cancer. So I think the innovation around sun protection for me is very, very exciting. And I think just the innovation, I've talked about connectedness, but I think in my 50s, I've had this yearning to be more connected, not less. So I think technology allows us that ability to connect more. And I really think that a good, happy mind and good friends and good wine, Adam, going back to you from 9 years old, there's no substitute with hanging out and drinking a nice glass of wine. So wine is not so innovative, but maybe you should do it more.
I love that. And we can do it on Zoom. So there's that.
Can.
I've had a lot of wine parties on Zoom over the last year and a half. So I agree with both of you. Well, I have loved this little journey that we've taken together, and I really appreciate both of you for taking the time. I know you're very busy as entrepreneurs and business owners and parents and all of the things, but I'm really excited about giving everybody a little taste of what they could see at HEYDAY. So thank you both for joining me today. If you want to reach any of the Image Skincare products, you can get to imageskincare.com, and Janna is on Instagram at Janna Ronert. And then also Adam is at heydayskincare.com. So that's where you're going to be able to book one of these fabulous treatments. And Adam, are you socially active on social media? Is there anywhere that somebody can find your journey?
As part of my self-care commitments, Ashley, the answer is no.
I love that. That's hard for a lot of us. I need to take that one too, but it's going to be a while.
But Ashley, you should let all the viewers know that he's not only in New York, and so they've got locations all over the country.
Yes, California, New York.
Totally.
Yes.
And it's really quite an experience, really. I've been in this business for 25 years, and it's my favorite place to go for a facial.
And I will tell you, the estheticians are top notch. I mean,
Yes.
They really take.
You're in good hands.
Yes,
literally.
absolutely. I agree. Well, thank you both for joining us. I am going to take us now over to Alex Saran, who is a beautiful esthetician over at HEYDAY. Again, she's the regional trainer and esthetician. She's been an esthetician in New York City for 9+ years. She's been with HEYDAY from the very beginning, so that's super exciting. And she's a holistic practitioner, and she's going to be showing us a beautiful treatment with the Guasha tool. And if you have the Guasha in your box, you can do this right alongside her. And if not, and you end up getting your box today, you can do this at home, because we will be posting this treatment later on in the week or early next week. So Alex, welcome.
Hello, hi, my name is Alexandra, and I am so happy to be part of this event. It's been amazing for the past 2 days. And I loved hearing Adam and Janna just talking about the beginning days of of HEYDAY, when we were at our Nomad location in 2015, where I'm at right now with my beautiful model, Chrissy. And we do wear masks at HEYDAY, just so you know, but we've taken the proper precautions. So I'm really excited to be doing a demo and just to be talking about wellness and really what that means to me. Thank you so much for the amazing introduction. So I'm going to be doing a demonstration of a facial that you could do at home if you wanted to, really take your self-care up a notch. So I'm going to be going through, and if you want to come over and just watch me go through something that you could do at home. All right, so we are going to start with one of my favorite cleansers from Image. And at HEYDAY, we use a curated blend of different products that we cherry pick. But for today, I'm going to show you some of my favorite from Image. So this is the Vital C Hydrating Cleanser. So if you are using this at home, this is really beautiful for anyone with a dry skin type, with normal skin type, even for the summer when you just feel like you need a little bit of, extra hydration. This one is really beautiful. Features vitamin C, so nice and brightening as well. And it's absolutely one of my favorite ones to use in treatment. So for my estheticians watching, this is a really great first cleanse that you can do. So a little bit goes a long way. I love the Image products because they're so concentrated. They smell so beautiful. And this one has a really light, gorgeous citrus scent with the orange peel extract. So you're going to really want to get nice and in there to remove any excess makeup. If you have, eye makeup as well, you could actually soak some cotton pads and remove this one. I like to go in on dry skin and then actually emulsify with a little bit of water. And if you have a hot towel or some cotton, you can definitely use that to remove. So the first step in making sure that you're getting a really effective treatment is to make sure that your skin is nice and cleansed and giving yourself a really clean canvas so that you can actually, get the results that you want. So if you're doing this at home, you can absolutely use the appropriate cleanser for your skin. That's definitely something that we teach at HEYDAY when you're coming in for facials. We teach you about your skin type, about your conditions, what kind of, products would be best for you. So I am going to remove this with a warm towel. And making sure that your skin is nice and cleansed is really the first step in, your at-home facial that you could be doing. And I always, I love to tell my clients, my friends, pick a day of the week that you're going to kind of like dedicate to self-care, right? I think Janna said there was how many posts on Instagram dedicated to self-care. So I would say just pick one night. And even if it's 30 minutes, just taking time for your skin, because really what we believe at HEYDAY is that taking care of your skin is really the first step in wellness. And, having great skin health is extremely important. So skin is nice and beautiful, nice and clean. And then next, this is the Clear Cell Tonic. So this is one of my favorite toners. It's a 5% blend, has a 2% salicylic. So Chrissy is actually an acneic skin type. So this is going to be a really great toner. And using a toner is really important to actually boost the efficacy of whatever exfoliation that you're going to use after. For my skin therapist, for my estheticians, you can actually use this toner as a degreaser before doing a professional peel or exfoliation. It's going to help remove any excess oil from the skin and really just give, like I said, everything is about the perfect canvas. So with my client here, we're really focusing on, of course, hydration. In New York City, it's about 90 degrees today. So we are working on a nice deep cleanse and making sure that her skin is extremely hydrated so that when she goes out into the world, she has a beautiful glow. So for my pros, if you want to let that sit and then go into your peel or exfoliation, you can certainly do that. For the treatment today, I'm going to use one of my favorites. So this is my go-to. It's the Vital C Hydrating Enzyme Mask. And a little bit of this goes a long way. It is one of our favorite products that we use in our HEYDAY treatments because it has a high concentration of hyaluronic acid, which is a beautiful humectant. And humectants work by binding moisture to the skin. So the most basic humectant that people know is honey. So, when you have a sore throat and you have honey in your tea, it's actually binding and helping to kind of like plump up so that sore throat is relieved. So the same thing with the humectant, it's actually helping to bind moisture to the skin to actually help plump up and fill in, any kind of fine lines, helping to prevent wrinkles, things like that. So that's why it's super important to make sure that you're using some kind of humectant into your routine, no matter what your skin type is. Anyone can benefit from a hyaluronic acid, for example. So with this one, it is a beautiful hydrating enzyme. It has papaya enzymes, pineapple enzymes, and those little enzymes work kind of like little Pac-Man. So think about them like eating away dead skin cells, and they deactivate when they're kind of like full and leave a fresh, bright glowing skin. So with this one, if you're using this one at home, for today's purposes, I'm only going to massage this in for a couple minutes. But if you're using this at home, this is definitely a mask that you could just pop on, if you're watching TV or if you're just like doing some things around the house. I love to leave this one on, especially when I'm getting ready for, an event or something like that. And I really want my skin to have a nice hydrated glow. You just let it sit on the skin for about 5 to 30 minutes. And it really, does wonders for giving a nice bright glow to the skin. How are we feeling, Chrissy? Any tingling with this? No? Perfect. So like I said, you could do some massage, and I'm going to add a little bit of water. And doing facial massage is actually a really great self-care practice that I recommend everybody incorporate into the routine. We were on for a bit of the yoga right before Adam and Janna went on. And, facial massage is kind of like doing yoga for the face. It's helping to stretch the muscles, tone, contour, and it's really, something that can be done every single day. So highly recommend doing facial massage as well as guasha, which we are going to do after I remove this exfoliant. So you received, if you have the wellness box at home, you would have received the little guasha, the Jade guasha stones, which I am in love with. I think they're the cutest little things. So I'm going to show you and walk you through a quick guasha sequence that you could definitely do on yourself at home, or for my esthetician, something that you could incorporate into your routine. I've been doing guasha in my treatments for about 3 years now. And once I took this guasha course, it completely changed the way that I think about skin, the way that I think about, health and well-being for my clients. Really just kind of, changed the game for me. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with you today. So removing this, you want to really make sure that you remove all of your exfoliant from the skin, because once you're doing guasha, you want to make sure that you have a really beautiful oil that's going to help hydrate the skin. So once we have our beautiful prepped canvas, look at her skin, looks so good. Then we are going to go in with our facial massage and using our guasha stones to actually help give all of those amazing benefits that guasha can provide. So, any tingling? Good, perfect. So for my guasha application, I'm going to be using the Image Vital C Hydrating Facial Oil. And this one is a really beautiful blend. It has argan, sea buckthorn. It's nice and lightweight. And this is honestly one that you could use no matter what your skin type is. A little bit goes a long way. You want slip and glide, not slip and slide on your skin when you're doing guasha. If you have too much oil, it's really not going to provide as much hold on the skin, which is really what you want. So nice little application. We're going to go through, make sure that her skin is completely covered in this beautiful hydrating oil. And I will show you the guasha stones that I'll be using, and I'll give you a little bit of a option. So if you're doing this on yourself, we definitely have some tutorials on our HEYDAY Instagram, on our IGTV, that you can watch, so that you can actually go through and pause and make sure that you really understand that you're doing it correctly. So I want to make sure that you are really going through, because guasha is definitely, an art, or it's a science, but it's definitely an art as well. So these are the beautiful Image Jade guasha stones. I have 2 of them because I want to show you some different variations. So with guasha, it's really important that you are using gentle, intentional movements. And it's really important to open up, what we say, open up the back of the neck. So any adult will have, upwards of 500 to 600 lymph nodes in the body, and about 200 to 300 are concentrated around the face and neck. That's why when you get a facial or even do facial massage on yourself at home for about 5 minutes, you feel like lighter than air. You feel, just really nice and light. So that's because we're helping to clear all of the lymphatic pathways that are concentrated over here. So if you're doing this at home, even if you do a little bit of massage in the back of your neck, this is going to go a long way. You could do this. They were talking about having a glass of wine for self-care. Totally in agreement with that. So even if you're watching TV and you have a glass of wine, you want to get your guasha stone, make sure your skin is, nice and clean, get some facial oil, do some massage. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually take your stone. And this is a really beautiful, nice weighted jade stone. Jade is amazing for helping to absorb, heat. So for her skin, especially, she's having an acne skin type, so tends to hold a little bit more heat. This is going to be amazing for helping to, reduce inflammation. And so we are working on the back of the neck. And for my pros, if you're doing this on a client, you could absolutely use 2 stones. I love to use these because I like to have both of my hands moving. And you're always working in, like I said, gentle, intentional movements, always going up and outwards. And you want to start in the back of the neck. So if you're doing this at home, you want to take as much of the stone as you possibly can. So in this case, this long area over here, you also have these little cloud ridges that I'll talk about. So you're starting in the back of the neck. Some people like to do like a little wiggle over here. Whatever feels good to you, honestly. You can go at your own pace. And honestly, you're just using the weight of the stone. You're not like digging into the skin. You really want to get a nice glide. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually working my way up to the front of the neck. So about 3 to 5 movements is all that you need. And going nice and gently, working my way up. Of course, if you're doing this at home, 1 stone is probably going to be better, but I love to do this even, if you have a big event coming up, or if you want to make sure that your skin is looking great for all of my brides to be, or, if you have some kind of event that's coming up, Guasha is actually a really great practice that you could do every day. That really the only thing you need is, an oil and your stone. And just even doing it for 5 minutes a day is going to help change the structure of your skin. So once I get to the neck over here, being mindful of the thyroid area, what I'm doing is actually working my way up the face. So when you're thinking about guasha, think about the things that you want sculpted, right? So a nice sculpted jawline, no laugh lines over here, nice sculpted cheekbones, no puffiness around the eyes, and then no lines on the forehead, right? So you are working your way up. And if you want to, I love these little cloud ridges. You could actually use these and work them, always going from the center of the face outwards. Some people like to use a little wiggle over here, which is totally fine. Whatever works for your flow. Always working upwards and outwards. And if you are someone who has, active breakouts, if you have, maybe some lesions like on the jaw or the cheeks, if there's like 1 or 2, just always avoid that area and work below it. So if she had one, right here, for example, I would just work around in that kind of way. So just so you know, you don't really want to be pressing on those because you don't want to spread anything or make it worse. But this is actually going to be amazing to get into your routine. And if you are someone who is struggling with some breakouts, even just doing it on the neck for about 5 minutes a day is going to help just get everything flowing and moving, and be really beneficial for the long run. So would highly, highly recommend that. And then around the eyes, you want to be really careful, really, really gentle. The lower and upper eyelid are definitely the most, delicate areas of skin. So you just want to be careful that you are working that really gently. And then once I'm getting up to the temple, you are going to work your way up to the forehead, and don't forget about the nose and the eyebrows too. So if you're someone who's, on a computer screen all day, you definitely want to work in this muscle over here. It's called the corrugator muscle. So it's like those 11 lines when you furrow your brows. This is what you're working. So giving a nice little gentle rhythmic motion on the forehead feels really, really relaxing. And of course, you could do this on yourself, but there's nothing like getting guasha from someone else. You definitely can't make yourself fall asleep. So I would highly recommend getting it done by a professional. And then once I am moving, like I said, 3 to 5 movements on each side, I'm going to actually work my way down. So a couple movements sweeping down is going to help with your lymphatic drainage that you're trying to achieve. And there we go. Now we move gently and slowly to the other side. working my way up my client's skin. This feels amazing, especially on the traps back here in this area. You can use a little bit more pressure than you would on the face. Feels extremely relaxing for your muscles that hold a lot of tension up here. And like I said, I've been incorporating Guasha into my facial routines for about 3 years now. And it honestly has completely impacted the way that I think about skin health, the way that I think about the human body. So definitely something to look into. I feel like Guasha definitely blew up the past year, and everyone's like, I need a Guasha stone or, you know, a jade roller, which are fantastic. And then I think once you understand how to really, you know, work the stone and actually get those results that you're trying to achieve, and you start to see those results, it really just starts to make a difference in your skin. You know, I've had clients who, you know, they're getting married and their skin, they're having some issues. And I'm like, just do Guasha like 5 minutes a day, every single night, make it part of your routine. You know, there's, you know, they say like to not be on your screens, not be on your phone at least 30 minutes before bed. So this is what I tell my clients. I'll say, just, you know, wash your face, kind of make it like a ritual, right? So if you incorporate this, make it part of your cleansing routine at night, it's really should be something that you look forward to. I think all of your skincare should be something that you look forward to. That's why I love, you know, the Image products, because all of them smell so great. So you get this amazing sensorial experience every time, you know, even using your cleanser, like the Vital C cleanser that I first used. Every time I smell that, it just makes me happy. So I definitely would recommend the Vital C line is a really great one to, you know, kind of intro if you haven't used Image products before. That's one of my favorite lines to recommend, just because everything is, you know, so rich and hydrating. And working our way up to the forehead and the brows. And if you do have if, you know, one of your concerns is dark circles or puffiness around the eyes, you can certainly work in this area. Once you've worked your way up, that's when you really want to focus. You never want to just go right into the eyes, because you want to help clear the way for everything that's below it. And nice and gently moving my way up. And this little jade Guasha stone is a really great one to start with. Nice and easy to use, different ridges that you could, you know, incorporate, and then really mastering the stone is going to help just get great benefits for your skin. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell that she has like a little bit of pink to her skin. That's not bad. That's actually good. That means that we're getting some nice friction going. We're getting blood flow. Blood carries, you know, nutrients and oxygen to the skin. So that is a good thing. We want that to happen, because that's going to help give her the glow. And that's really what Guasha does. It helps with sculpting, contouring, you know, lifting, because it is increasing circulation. So therefore it's going to decrease puffiness, right? So if you have any puffiness around the eyes or anything around, you know, the cheeks or the jaw, if you're just doing Guasha, you're helping to get rid of any excess fluid that might be accumulating in these areas. So it's going to make you look instantly, you know, lifted and sculpted. And then just finishing down here in this muscle. And there we go. That is a beautiful Guasha sequence. I like to do a little bit of facial massage just to kind of end my treatment. And there's not too much oil on the skin, but I'm going to just remove any of the excess with a warm towel. If you don't happen to have a hot towel cabbie at your home, you can certainly just rinse off your oil. Or you could even, you know, use it as a treatment oil and actually, you know, put on your moisturizer after if you wanted to. So just going to remove this really quickly, and then we're going to go into a nice hydrating mask, which is one of my favorites. So this is the Hormetic Balancing Gel Mask. So again, a little bit goes a long way with this one. Really, really beautiful hydrating aloe vera mask. This one is, suitable for all skin types. Highly recommend this one. It has this beautiful light scent to it, almost sweet, and it goes on really nice and silky onto the skin. And this is one, again, that you can leave on for about 5 to 30 minutes, nice and hydrating. And I actually like to massage this in, so I'm going to massage this in a bit. And that's definitely something that you can do when you are incorporating masks or, oils into your routine at home to give yourself a nice little facial. You can actually do some facial massage to help relieve some of that tension. I didn't mention before, but Guasha is actually amazing for, any kind of tension that you hold in the face. So, TMJ, or if you're someone who clenches your jaw or your teeth or something like that, facial massage and Guasha is actually going to help with that. So incorporating even a little bit, even when you're cleansing your skin, you can just incorporate a little bit of facial massage, and it's going to help with your self-care routine. And I love this one. Nice and lightweight. So you can absolutely let that one sit on the skin, but I'm going to remove really quick, and then I'm going to hydrate my beautiful model's skin. And even if you don't have time to do Guasha and you want to just incorporate a mask, all you need to do is just cleanse your skin and put on a hydrating mask, something that you could do really easily, really quickly. It takes about 10 minutes. You could do it at night, make it your nice little close down ritual, something that'll just help to feed your skin with some, nutritive ingredients. So I'm going to remove the excess of this mask. We are going to use one of my favorite hyaluronic serums. This one features a different blend, or a multi-blend, I should say, of hyaluronic acid that helps to plump up the skin, goes on nice and lightweight. This one is honestly beneficial for any skin type. Anyone can benefit from this. And a serum is usually more concentrated ingredients and really helps to act as like a treatment before you put on your moisturizer. So nice little massage with this one. And this one you can definitely get a little bit closer to the eyes. Whenever you're using your eye cream, you always want to just go on the orbit of the eye. And we are going to use one of my favorite. This is the Image SPF 32 moisturizer. So this one is a mattifying, but honestly can be used for any skin type. It actually is a great primer too before makeup. So if you've done this little routine in the morning, some people like to do their routine in the morning as a way to just start their day. This could actually be one that you use before putting on makeup, and it helps makeup to just have like a flawless finish. So make sure that you get just enough around the eyes, and don't forget your neck and décolleté too. First signs of aging are back of the hands, neck, décolleté. I'm also going to do her ears. Feels really good. And last but not least, we are going to use the Hormetic Balancing Lip Treatment. So if you've had a HEYDAY facial, you know that this is how we end our facials. It is a really beautiful, lightweight lip balm, and it helps to just seal in moisture. And there we have it. So my client's skin is nice and hydrated, and hopefully you have learned how to do a little facial treatment at home to complement your wellness routine that you already have in place. Thank you so much for stopping by in our HEYDAY Nomad location, and we hope to see you here soon.
Thank you, Alex. That was amazing. Just to remind you guys that we have the Guasha tool in the wellness box. So if you didn't get yours, make sure you do. This is amazing. You can follow along with Alex when we post this later on next week. And we also have on the Guasha box a little thing that you can do as well, a little treatment that you can follow. So thank you. That was amazing. I heard that you have a special treat for the audience. which was a code. Do you?
Yes, we do.
want
It
to
is
tell the
image
audience?
20. I forgot to mention it. So if you want to follow along with the products that we used, you can use the code image 20.
Awesome. And that's going to be for 20% off. And that's going to be at heydayskincare.com, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. And then also in your locations. We think.
I'm not sure about that, but
okay. That's a little note I have. So hopefully that's true, but we'll follow up with you guys if it's wrong. Well, I appreciate that. That looked amazing and your skin is gorgeous. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you.